My friends on humanitymatters.org who visit my humanitymatters.org website. My friends on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on talkshoe.com, and anywhere you can find Albert Torcaso, Torcaso. Anywhere you can find me online or offline. One of my core missions, and what I do, is I speak about the better aspects of humanity. I'm also an advocate in many ways. I don't get paid for it yet. Maybe that's something I should go into, look into. Maybe I should even get into law school or something to that effect. But that's not my path. And the reason is I want to do it through the talk show medium, podcast, talk show, videos, that kind of thing. But I'm not just an advocate for the downtrodden, the poor, the middle class, the wealthy, depending on who it is. You know, there's a lot of good wealthy people out there on the planet. The problem is that the elite and those who want to take advantage of the poor and the middle class and everybody they can, and multinational corporations that do that, and industries, you know, those who choose to do that, well, they are what we would call evil. So I fight for what is right. I don't care if you're rich, you're poor, you're gay, you're straight, you're Republican, you're Democrat, you're Libertarian, you're Socialist. I don't care. For me, it's about what is right. Maybe I'm a pragmatist. Maybe I'm just a common sense guy. But here's the problem. Most talk show hosts, whether they're on the left or the right, they give you their spiel, their spin. And even the good ones, they will tell you what the problem is, but they don't bring you any realistic hope of doing something about it, in the sense that, in a larger sense, yes, we can change our government. No doubt about it. In a larger sense, we can. But in the meantime, we need to have tools and vehicles that can change our life for the better. So one of the things I do, one of the components of what I am bringing together, is not only to try to bring people up that may be poor, maybe disabled, maybe a senior, older adult, maybe the disappearing middle class. Doesn't really matter who you are, but I want to bring you something very unique. I'll give you the facts. I'll give you the facts just like the old Dragnet show. You might want to look it up in case you never heard of it. There was a line in there. The actor that was in it was Jack Webb, I believe his name was. And he used to say, "Just the facts, ma'am." Very dry. "Just the facts, ma'am." Sort of like that, not like that, but really dry, like, "Just the facts, ma'am." Play the detective. Well, I can do that. I can give you the facts. I can tell you what is wrong with America, what is wrong with Zimbabwe, what is wrong with Russia, what is wrong with Tahiti, whatever. But that doesn't really change your daily life. So I'm bringing things together that has the potential to do that too. It's not enough to tell you that there's to use a metaphor or an analogy, it does you no good to be told you have a broken window. You already know that. What I must do, and what people who truly want to help, isn't tell you have a broken window, but to help you find ways to get the window fixed, to use the metaphor. So, I will, speak out against the Republican Party of the United States for the rest of my life, if need be. I will speak out against the the Democratic Party, if need be, for the rest of my life. I hold no allegiance to any one person, any one party. I hold my allegiance to a higher power and to your life being better. So, with that, what do I want? Well, what I want is for every mother and father whether they are single parent or the cohesive traditional family unit, I want them to be able to have enough money, access to health care and shelter, food, everything, without having to kill themselves to do it. I want you to have a chance at earning more income. I want you to have a chance at, well, it may sound off the wall, but having a chance at joining the ranks of the rich and then eventually the wealthy. And I define those differently. There is rich. We'll say somebody that earns, I don't know, in their lifetime, maybe they earn $1 to $20 million. I'd call them rich. Or if someone comes up with a great platform, job, whatever, not job, but career, industry, that kind of thing, that person may become wealthy. They may become a billionaire. Or they may can get 2, 3, 400 million. I don't want you anymore. I don't care if you are a person never been college educated or even technical school or trade school or whatever we want to call it these days. I want you to have the same opportunity as a president of America or any country. Now you might say, well, Al, that's just not realistic. That's just not possible. But I say to you it is. And I believe that. And I know that it is. We can get into that, but that would be a long, very long video. So we're not going to do that. What I can tell you is this. I invite you to start watching what I do on a regular basis. I don't expect you to agree with me on everything. In fact, I hope to offend you to the point where you actually call me names even though I can't hear you. Now, if you're wondering, why would I say such a thing? Well, it's because if I say something offensive to you, maybe at that point you will see it from the perspective and point of view that I see it and others see it. It's offensive to me that there is the term homeless veteran. It is offensive to me, the term homeless children, hungry children. Those are very offensive. It's offensive to me that in America, instead of ensuring more people and guaranteeing health care access, our Congress has seen fit to take people off. This is the opposite of what it means to be compassionate, what it means truly to be American. I submit to you that the Republican Congress is the most unconstitutional, unpatriotic, un-American Congress in the history of America. This particular session. Oh, you might think, well, isn't that kind of extreme? No, sir. No, ma'am. It is this Congress who just decided to put a series of tax cuts for the wealthy and make them permanent, while the majority of Americans may or may not get a tax cut, but they expire. It is going to destruct our country's economy in ways that we won't even go into right now. It is un-American. It is unconstitutional. It is unethical. It is an abomination. But at least you think that I'm giving the Democratic Party a free pass. No, ma'am. No, sir. You see, they are complicit in many ways. This country has been governed by both parties for the last at least 150 some years. And I am not impressed. I am not impressed. There are good men in Congress and good women. But the trouble is, if they do not have enough power or they do not risk their own careers, if they're not willing to do that, then they are useless. And I will not say, well, you know, this guy or this woman is wonderful. When you're wrong, you're wrong. What makes me so upset with the Democratic Party at this time? I recently realized that it was the Democrats that controlled Congress back in the 80s. They allowed Ronald Reagan to have Reaganomics. They actually allowed his legislation in most cases. It's a direct result of them starting the process that ultimately has led to over $1 trillion in debt for student loan. They're complicit. they're guilty. Even though they may not be in Congress, those members anymore, some may not be. I mean, most may not be. The actions of that party allowed what we are still suffering today. Why do I not like the Republican Party? Because they think about the wealthy and the corporations first. And as far as the trickle-down theory, I want you to think about that for a minute. I want you to really, for a second, hear those words intellectually. Hear what they say. The trickle-down theory. Why don't we call it what it really is? The P on the poor, P on the middle class theory. In other words, think of it this way. Let's use a different perspective and analogy. It's as, what they're really saying is, we will drink the wine, we will drink the water, we will drink the soda, we will drink the juice, and we will urinate it out on the middle class, and we will urinate it out on the poor, and we will urinate it out on the senior citizen, and we will urinate it out on the people that are homeless. We will urinate it out on the disabled. Let's call it what it is. I mean, they call it the trickle-down theory. You see, I may be considered controversial. I may be extreme. But you cannot question my integrity. And you cannot question my audacity to tell the truth. I don't like being urinated on. If you do, hey, more power to you. The trickle-down theory must go. Now, having said all that, what do I see is the best political solution for America? Getting rid of the entire Republican Party? That would be a start, legally and peacefully, and yes, by voting. I would love to see not one Republican ever elected again and all voted out. Every single Republican. And I would love to see almost every Democrat completely voted out. I said almost. Why? Because I believe that both parties have been too complicit. And both parties, you know what they do? I'll tell you exactly what they do. They accept guaranteed pay raises. They just received a new one in 2018. But what happens to the middle class, to the poor, to the disabled and the senior citizen? Oh, well, we're supposed to be suffering more. Now, at least you believe in the trickle-down theory and that this new tax cut is going to bring jobs. We just had the tax law pass in December, I believe it was. Walmart, 2 days ago, now officially 3, announced and abruptly closed down 63 stores of Sam's Club. 63 Sam's Club stores. So let's really analyze this for a minute. They just received these tax cuts they will eventually get. And instead of hiring new people, which is what we've been hearing is going to happen, right? They are firing and closing down over 60 stores. My point to the die-in-the-wool Republican, or so-called libertarian or conservative, you're being bamboozled and lied to. And you may believe it. You may believe every word as if it was Father God speaking to you. Well, let me tell you the truth. It's a lie. It's a deception. Now, I'm not asking you to be in love with the Democrats or quote-unquote liberals. But I am asking you to do something that you may not like. Look at American economic history over the last 130 years. And the majority of time when there was a Democratic president and a Democratic Congress, or a Republican president and a Democratic Congress, or a Republican president, Democratic Congress, Republican president. But the Democrats had the power of one or both offices. If you look in history of America, you will find that the disabled, the seniors, the poor and the middle class did better. Now that's not me. That's history. That's not fake news. That's not the deceptions that you're getting. Now conversely, why am I not impressed with the Democratic Party? I just said they've done a lot of good, and they have. But they've also done damage. And the reality is, allowing the laws and rules to be changed, and how finances and the amount of monies that universities and what have you used to get, that ultimately has cost us over $1 trillion in student loan debt. And we must ask another question. Why is it that our U.S. government allows other countries, and even corporations sometimes, to have their debt forgiven? Yet the backbone of America, what keeps America actually in existence, the citizen of the United States, you, Jim, Joe, Jack, Jane, Anastasia, Bonita, whomever you may be, you get to have about $1 trillion in debt, or a lot of debt in whatever way you have it. Now, me, I tell it like it is. My videos are long, people leave. But those of you who stay, you may not agree with a lot of what I say, but you can't deny it. Deep down, even if you want to disagree, deep down in your heart, if you are honest, God-fearing person, or even an atheist, but honest, you know I'm right. You know that the urinating on people policy is just wrong. Trickle-down economics. No, let's call it what it is. Urinating on economics. Is it working out for you? How's your job? How secure are you? How many jobs do you work just to survive? Do you have multiple jobs plus your wife or girlfriend or husband or boyfriend? You may not like it, but I tell the truth. You know why a lot of people can't handle my videos other than the fact that they're long? It's because they can't handle the truth. And if they accept the truth, that means you have to take action. Now, I'm not in love with the Democrats. I'm not in love with the Republicans. So what do I want? I would like to see 4 political parties, at least 4. Like a few other countries have. That way, no one party would have a monopoly. So maybe we'll keep the Democrats and even the Republicans. But then we need Greens and Libertarians. Or 2 different parties that maybe we don't know the names yet. Because that way, nobody can get away with it. But in the meantime, what can you do to change your life today? When you see this, first thing you can do is start to believe that you could start getting somewhere in life. And start working on your dream or creating a dream. Start a business, or start being an affiliate marketer, or start selling products online. I don't care what it is. Or give me a call at 412-559-2731. But I'm going to tell you something. This country is going to be much more heartless. Not only over the next year, but over the next 30 years, 40, 50, even 60, if we do not make the change. Now, how do we beat those in D.C., our cities, our states, from getting away with the urinating on you policies, or just not getting it done? How do we do that? We do it by spending less money. We take away their money. If you look at American history, one of the components of the civil rights movement was that Black Americans, African Americans, Americans of African descent, whichever way, unfortunately, we want to classify our brothers and sisters, which I don't like any of those terms, by the way, But what happened was a group of people, mainly black Americans, boycotted buses and other facilities and businesses. They took away the money. That is a component of the civil rights movement being successful. All the other things, the great speeches, the marches, the life and death, people died actually to get these rights also, I might want to add. All of that was needed. All of that was absolutely essential. But one of the biggest components was them boycotting the buses and the trolleys or whatever it was. They took their money away. If we do that again, if we start taking away their money by locking up a portion of our money and getting it out of the system completely, put it in a safe, put it in a lockbox, hide it where no one can find it, every single pay period. If enough Americans do that, enough Zimbabweans, Indians, I don't care wherever you are on the planet, we do that, and everything changes. Now, you may not believe me. You may want to disagree with what I've just said. I would love to hear from you. Do not block your number. Do not make it private, and we will talk. You see, I'm not afraid to give my number out. As a matter of fact, you see this? That is my cell phone right here. You see that? Take a good look. Take a good long look. You call that phone. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to dial area code 412-559-2731. I'm not one of these gurus. I'm not one of these guys who talk a good game, but I can't back it up. I talk a good game. And I back it up. Because your life matters. So if you don't like what I have to say, I'm great with that. That's cool. But you tell me, how great is your life right now? How many jobs are you working? How many hours are you putting in killing yourself physically just to make ends meet? While they have the urinating on people policies. I'm not going to go with trickle-down economics. I'm going to call it what it is. Urinating down economics. If you can't handle that word, urinating, well, guess what? You're being urinating on, whether you like it or not. But do I have anything against wealth? Absolutely not. No way. I want all of us to get rich and even wealthy. But we must be held accountable. We must help others get there, and we must help those who are not there. And we must not let one American go hungry, one American go homeless. We must not let one American go without health care. And if it means higher taxes sometimes, we must pay that and make it be a patriotic responsibility, a patriotic duty. If we say we love America, let's make America the greatest country in human history. If we say we love Jehovah, Jesus, Yahweh, Allah, or whatever your faith may be, let us act as if we mean it. Let us mean it. If our brothers and sisters are in need of crossing the street, maybe they're visually challenged or blind, maybe they're on a wheelchair, let us take the action. Let us be America again. Let us remember that we are supposed to be the United States of America, not the heartless, without compassion, divided states of America. Let extraordinary conservatives and extraordinary liberals hold hands or shake hands or speak with each other without this political warfare. We are America. We are a great people. We are a great nation. We are black. We are white. We are Asian. We are Middle Eastern. We are gay. We are straight. We are Christian. We are atheist. We are Jew. We are Muslim. We are America. We are the country that people around the globe seek to come to have opportunity, to have religious freedom, to experience the ability to change their life. And I implore every American, even those who are doing wrong right now in D.C., let's get back to what it means to be an American. An America where we brought together civil rights for whole pigmentation. It was hard. People died. People of all pigmentations helped. People of all pigmentations joined together. We even ended a war in the 60s from joining together. A lot of people were against it. But we are Americans. Let not the Democratic candidates or the Republican candidates, the Fox News or the CNN or any organization take away our America. Maybe this has been one of the longest videos you've ever watched. Maybe I'm just a guy who believes in the United States, who believes in compassion, who believes in the people of India, the people of Tibet, the people of Jamaica, the people of Cambodia, the people of Italy, the people of Mexico, the people of Greece, Iran, wherever you may be. Maybe I'm just a guy who believes that humanity and you, maybe, I believe you personally really do matter. It's just a thought. I love you. And I will not back away, spin, or retreat on that statement. My name is Albert Torcaso.